I hate my job. This person isn't texting me back. I have all of these bills to pay. So here in front of me, I have some common phrases or thought processes that we might go through throughout our day, throughout a week. And we're going to reframe these thought processes. We're going to reframe these sayings that we hear every day into a more empowered phrase. A phrase that puts us into our power, that puts us into a vibration of gratitude. So the first phrase we have is, oh man, I have all of these bills to pay. You have bills. You need to spend money. A reframe for that might be, I'm so fortunate to have received the value of the products and services that I'm now going to exchange money for. Because isn't it a gift that we have the opportunity to avail of services like Wi-Fi or electricity, or maybe you're paying rent, consider the value that having an internet connection has given you this past month. Maybe you fulfilled a project or something, and maybe you got some money out of that, or maybe you learned something. What value has the internet given you this month? You're paying like 30, 40 quid or whatever for an internet bill, but you're exchanging value for value. So what have you gotten out of your internet? And if you haven't gotten anything out of it, then maybe cancel that bill. Why are you giving value to things that don't give you value back? So consider that, You paid rent. Isn't it such a privilege that I have somewhere to live this month? That I have a roof over my head, that, I have this place to chill at the end of the day. Electricity bill. Isn't it amazing that I can, turn on the air conditioning or heat myself up if it's cold? These are such gifts. So instead of, oh no, another bill to pay, we say, I'm so grateful for the blessings that I'm about to exchange money for. Because that's all it is. We give value, and in exchange we receive value. And if the thing that we're giving value to doesn't give us value back, we can just cancel that subscription, If Netflix isn't giving you any joy, cancel it. If you don't need the internet, cancel it. If you don't like the place that you're living, if you don't think it's worth the amount you pay for it, cancel it. All right, number 2. This person isn't texting me back. You're texting someone. Maybe it's a new lover you got on the scene, or maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's someone that you were hoping to do some work for, or maybe it's an employer, something like that. And they're not hitting you back. They're not texting you back. They're not responding to your emails. And you're like, oh man, how about we reframe this? Because that's quite disempowering, You're saying that if this person doesn't get back to you, that you can't, be fulfilled, that you can't go about your day with joy. So we say, if this person and I are aligned to be in relationship with one another, we will connect. If we're not aligned or in tune, then it's best for us both. Why do you want to be in touch with someone that doesn't want to be in touch with you? Why do you want a job in a place that doesn't want you to work for them? If we are aligned to be in relationship with somebody, be it romantically, be it as friends, be it as, client relationship or or an employee-employer relationship, if we're aligned to be in those relationships, then the connection will be made, and it will be made effortlessly. You know, maybe someone's not responding to you. They will either respond when the time is appropriate, in which case, cool, you have a relationship there, or they will not respond, which means they are not committed to being in relationship with you. You know, maybe you put something out there and it's not received, and that's okay. Because we both need to be committed to a relationship. It needs to be a hell yes from both parties, because otherwise, maybe you do come into a relationship and it's like, didn't actually want this job in the first place, but now I'm here with this job, with these people, and we're not really getting along. And you know, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years passes, and then you finally realize, oh, actually this was never a good idea from the first place, and you forced it. So we can let go of this need to have all of the relationships that maybe our mind wants, but if we really step back and humble ourselves and see it from a higher perspective, from a divine perspective, relationships are easy. You know, when it comes naturally, and it doesn't come with this push-pull sort of force. So if they're not hitting you back, if they're not responding to you, that's okay. Give them a blessing as you go your way and they go their way. Because that is opening up space for the relationships that are going to serve you and the relationships that are going to serve the other people. Because we all are deserving of our people, of our joy, of our satisfaction. Number 3, being alone. We say, if I had a partner, then I would be happy. But see, the thing is, when we say that, we're saying, I'm not happy until I have a partner. You're playing a zero-sum game with yourself. You're like, oh, I'm not going to be happy until this happens. But what if there's an opportunity for you to feel joy and fulfillment right now, even though your partner is not here at the moment? What if this opportunity in being alone right now is giving you the chance to cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself? It's giving you the chance to get to know what your needs are. It's giving you the chance to be in silence, to cultivate presence. And then when your partner does come along, when your community, when your tribe comes along, you're then in a position to really be present and to be of service. Because if you're just waiting until all of that stuff happens before you can start feeling good, it means that you're outsourcing your own truth to these people. You're not going to be able to show up fully for other people if you can't show up for yourself when you're alone. So take a minute to yourself, take a week to yourself, take a year to yourself. Maybe it's longer. As long as it needs to be is how it is, and there's no need to force to move any faster than is warranted, because if that is the case, you might find then when you do come into relationship that you haven't nurtured yourself, you haven't filled up your own cup, and so you're maybe putting too much pressure on the community or onto your partner, whatever it might be. So take this opportunity of being alone as an opportunity to cultivate a deeper, stronger connection to self, so that you can show up in a bigger and better way for the benefit of all when that time for union does come. Number 4, I hate my job. It sucks. A lot of people might find themselves in a position they don't like at work, or it doesn't even have to be at work. It can be if you're, playing a certain sport, you don't like it. Hanging out with certain people, you don't like it. Certain hobbies that maybe you've grown out of, and you realize you don't like it, this is just a gift because you're realizing, okay, I don't like this thing. I'm going to have a lot less of this in my life going forward. So doesn't mean you have to quit your job right away, but maybe you start looking elsewhere. You start looking in a different sector, a different field altogether, because you found that what you're currently doing isn't serving you. And that's okay. We're people, we change all of the time. So we honor where we are at. We don't just drop our bags or take our bags and leave. You know, with awareness, we say to ourselves, okay, this isn't working. What can I do now to get to a place that is better of service to me and the people around me? In any situation that we find ourselves, there's two ways to spin it every time. One is disempowering, one can be empowering. You know, one is a vibration of gratitude, the other is scarcity. You know, oh no, I have to give this away. But look at what you received. You know, oh no, this person won't talk to me. What's the opportunity in that? Maybe we're not aligned. Maybe it's time for me to talk to myself. You know, there's always an opportunity in a so-called negative situation, but we just need to tune into what that opportunity is. And I might take, taking a back seat for a minute, because we react with all of our subconscious beliefs and programmings based on what we've learned from the people around us as we grew up. We have the opportunity now, as conscious adult human beings, to shift that, to change that. And as we do it for ourselves, it changes for our communities, it changes for the world. So keep that in mind next time you're feeling a bit down. How can I reframe this? What is the opportunity in this situation? I'd love to hear if you have any other reframes that you might have thought of as you watch this video or as you go about your days. What's the situation that maybe you initially perceived as negative, but then you saw the opportunity in? Please feel free to drop a comment below, letting us know. And I hope you have a beautiful day as always.